What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the SFS channel. My name's Gavin, and today I've got some fantasy football lineup advice for you guys here in Championship Week 16 with 5 must-start players at the running back position. As always, if you guys haven't already, make sure to go down and subscribe to the channel and turn that bell on so you guys are notified whenever I come out with a new video or go live for my fantasy Q&A here for Week 16. So without further ado, I'm not going to waste any more of you guys' time. This is going to be a quick video. So let's hit the intro and get into my top 5 running backs to start Week 16. All right, starting things off here, these guys are in no particular order. These are just all players I see as guys who deserve high-level starting consideration this week and can make a major difference in lineups and the outcomes of leagues here. So my first guy up on the board here is Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette, whoever ends up being the starter this week. I assume that Ronald Jones is going to be able to come back and clear COVID protocol, but if he's not able to do so, Leonard Fournette is a fine option as well. Jones, a guy I've talked about all year. I really like his talent and the way he runs. He's so physical, he's so energetic, and this guy is, I think, one of the more talented pure running backs in the league. But like I said, if Jones isn't out there, I still think Fournette is a fine option at Detroit this week against the 32nd ranked Lions rushing defense. I mean, Fournette had 2 touchdowns against the Vikings last week. He wasn't the most efficient guy in the world until the end of that football game, but regardless of who's out there, they are going to have some nice numbers. I think Rojo has the highest ceiling if he is the lead back, but Fournette with some touchdowns and a higher yards per clip will be fine as well. So Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, whoever's out there, go give them the start. These guys are going to put up some pretty nice numbers this week. And I think Tampa's offense will continue to roll. And then Myles Gaskin is my next guy up here on the list for the Miami Dolphins. And this is a very similar situation to Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette for the Bucs. Myles Gaskin right now is in the COVID protocol. And so it's not a 100% guarantee that we're going to see him on the field this week. I mean, we could see Ahmed be the starter again this week if he's not cleared to play, if he has any medical setbacks or whatnot. So Gaskin, though, I expect him, just like Jones, to be out there this week. Just like Jones, though, Fournette's a solid option for him. I like Ahmed as well if that situation plays out. But Gaskin should be a pretty productive player in this game. Normally, I am very hesitant to start running backs the first game off of an injury. But since this is an illness, and I think one that he can come back from pretty strong here, I would not be too concerned about it. So Gaskin against this Raiders defense, the 29th ranked unit against the run, I think has a great opportunity, like I said, to be very, very productive. The Raiders are a 500 football team. They've had their moments this season, but I think Miami is far and away the better football team here. Those guys protect the football. Tua has been a very, very impressive game manager here, and I think he's even made some very nice plays as well. I think he's a great player for that Dolphins franchise. And Brian Flores has done a great job with that defense. I think that with the quarterback play a bit of a question mark this week for the Raiders, they might struggle offensively against this very, very good defense with a turnover in 20 straight games. So I think the Dolphins are going to have their way in this football team. They're going to control the pace, run the clock, and Myles Gaskin is going to be that workhorse guy that we've seen him be throughout the season. So I love what Gaskin can do this week. I think he's a high upside running back to play and a guy that can go out there and be a staple in championship lineups. And then my next player up here, if I was to rank these guys, he would probably be my number 1 guy here for my must-start running backs list. David Montgomery has been an absolute monster these last 4 games. He's got the 30th ranked Jacksonville defense right now here in Week 16, and I think he can just blow through those guys. He is the RB6 right now after only missing 1 game this season and being a very, very modest performer until this last month here. I mean, he has 6 touchdowns in his last 4 games, 22.5 or more half PPR points in each one of those outings, and 3 of his last 4 have went for over 100. So David Montgomery, Allen Robinson, and that Bears offense have been cooking as of late. They are getting that team on track, and they are being very more productive offensively than we've seen them be at any other point this season. So the Bears are trending up right now. Big win over the Vikings. They are still in playoff contention. This team has something to play for, and the Jags have something to lose for, that being Trevor Lawrence. So I think Montgomery has another ball game here with just massive numbers, and he is a guy who I think is an RB1 play this week. I mean, Montgomery is into must-start territory and a guy who should not be out of lineups in any leagues. And then Miles Sanders here is my next must-start running back. and this one makes me very happy. I've been on the Miles Sanders train here since day one this season, and been a huge fan of the production and talent this guy has. I've known he can always get the job done here in this Eagles offense with that talent and with that scheme. I think that he's a really, really explosive runner and a really dynamic player. We saw him flash as a rookie and be a very, very sneaky fantasy asset the back half of last season. But this year with Wentz at the helm has been a disaster. The Eagles have been trailing in so many football games. They just haven't been giving him enough touches, and some injuries have kind of cost him at times as well. But finally, with Jalen Hurts taking over, there's light for him. In Hurts' first start, Sanders was exceptional against a very tough Saints running unit, going for over 100 yards for the first time in over 50 games against that team. So Miles Sanders obviously had an 80-yard touchdown run in that game, so flashed a little bit of what he can do there, but he was rather modest in Week 15 against the Cardinals. But what I see is very encouraging here, along with the fact that the Eagles are competitive right now, is that he has back-to-back 18-touch games, and the volume was a huge issue for Sanders the majority of this season. And with that coming back here against Dallas, the 27th ranked unit against the run in fantasy right now, I think he has a huge ceiling this week. We know how talented he is. We know he can get the job done. And against that unit, that defense is terrible. They are going to let the Eagles have their way, no matter how many injuries they've got, no matter how battered they are, and how poor they play offensively. They will find a way to produce against this Cowboys football team. They are just not good at playing defense, and their offense is hit or miss too. So we could see the Eagles absolutely dominate this football game. I think Sanders is probably going to have close to 100 scrimmage yards, and if he finds the end zone, he is going to be a top-end running back option this week. And then my last guy here is Giovani Bernard of the Cincinnati Bengals. This one's a fun one for me. I think Gio Bernard is a really sneaky play, actually. I think is a guy who could honestly go out there and win some leagues with some really underrated upside this week, I think. He did a really, really solid performance against the Steelers on Monday Night Football. He is the exact prototype build of a guy that they have struggled against this season. He's a short, shifting running back who gets lost in the offensive line. But honestly, what impressed me the most was Gio was running physical in that game. Only one catch, and for a guy who's kind of renowned as a receiving back, he did it on the ground. He had 25 carries, 26 total touches, 97 yards from scrimmage, and 2 total touchdowns. This week against the Houston Texans, 31st ranked defense against the run. I think Gio sees much of the same. I mean, that team is playing some pretty pitiful football right now, and the Bengals showed some real spark last week. So I think Gio Bernard, that Bengals offense, they've got some momentum after beating a tough division rival and handing the once undefeated Steelers their 3rd straight loss. So Gio Bernard, that Bengals offense, I expect them to keep clicking here. Deshaun Watson has not been great on that other side of the ball either, with some struggles without too many wide receiver options. But I think Gio, the game script will favor him here. I think he's going to get a lot of looks, and he might be involved a lot as a receiver as well. So I think he's a very, very high upside play this week. Those were 5 must-start running backs for Week 16 NFL action. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and turn that bell on so you guys are notified whenever I come out with a new video. And if you want to support my content here on the SFS channel, go check out my Patreon at Sizzle Fantasy Sports and support this community and growing brand here. So thank you guys so much as always. I really appreciate each and every single one of you guys that takes the time out of your day to watch my videos and comment, support the stuff, whatever you've got. So thank you all so much. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.